to be like Jesus, written by Ellen G. White.
Come, thy fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, calls for songs of loudest praise. Teach me ever to adore thee, may I still thy goodness prove, while the hope of endless glory fills my heart with joy and love.
The day that God made holy. May 20th. The commandments are for all.
Also the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants. Everyone who keeps from defiling the Sabbath and holds fast my covenant, even them I will bring to my holy mountain. Isaiah 56, verse 6 and 7.
Under the Mosaic law, strangers and eunuchs were excluded from the full enjoyment of the privileges granted to Israel. But the prophet declares that a time is coming when these restrictions will cease. The holy oracles were especially committed to the Jews. Not to be an Israelite was not to belong to the favored people of God. The Jews had come more and more to regard themselves as superior by divine right to every other people upon the earth. Yet they had not been careful to maintain their separate and holy character by rendering obedience to all the commandments of God.
Now the prophet declares that the stranger who will love and obey God shall enjoy the privileges that belong exclusively to the chosen people. Hitherto, circumcision and a strict observance of the law had been the conditions upon the Gentiles could be admitted to the congregation of Israel, but these distinctions were to be abolished by the gospel.
The first part of Isaiah 58 brings to view a people who apparently delight in the service of God. They seek Him daily, as a nation did that righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their God. Yet their lives are not right before the Lord, for He commands His prophet, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
The prophecy reaches down the centuries to the time when the man of sin attempted to make void one of the precepts of God's law, to trample under the foot of the original Sabbath of Jehovah, and in its stead exalt one of his own creation. And when the Christian world set aside God's holy Sabbath and in its place accept a common working day, unsanctioned by the single "Thus saith the Lord," they were encouraging infidelity and virtually acknowledging the supremacy of the power by whose authority alone change has been effected. The rejection of the Sabbath has led to the rejection of the whole law, and thousands of Christians profess now boldly to declare it void. Oh, to grace, how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind me closer still to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it. Seal it for thy courts above. Join us tomorrow for another devotional reading by God's grace. The Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the world. You will experience all these blessings if you obey the Lord your God.